Welcome to American Black Journal. I'm Stephen Henderson. A new early childhood partnership has reached a major milestone just 1 year after the initiative was announced. The Hope Starts Here program has heard from more than 18,000 Detroiters about the problems that face children and families in the city, and now strategies are in place to help solve them.
You all have provided the leadership to support the development of what we are talking about here today, the Hope Starts Here community framework. And I can't tell you how pleased I am coming from an organization that has been serving children and putting children at the center of our work since 1930. We know, and we have been long advocates for early childhood education. And also as a Detroiter, like many of you, we know that our children, those children of this city, are vital to the city's economic resurgence.
We all know that a framework is just the first step. We have to translate its far-reaching, its smart, and its practical recommendations into tangible, powerful action. And that is exactly what we intend to do.
Hope Starts Here is led by the Kresge and Kellogg Foundations, who've committed a total of $50 million to the effort. Joining me now is Kalia Burt-Gaston from Kellogg, along with a member of the Hope Starts Here Stewardship Board, Danielle Atkinson from the grassroots organization Mothering Justice. Thanks to both of you for being here. $50 million is a lot of money, obviously, but I always say that in Detroit, you know, these large sums of money don't have the kind of impact that you think they would. $50 million is a lot, but we actually probably need even more to deal with the problem of available early childhood education and then access to it.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think, you know, I shared your sentiments before I took this role at the Kellogg Foundation. $50 million does sound like a lot of money, and it's a great commitment from our two organizations, but it's a drop in the bucket compared to what we truly need. There are 80,000 children in Detroit, ages 0 to 8, and so at the highest quality of early childhood education, you're looking at about $20,000 annually per child. So when you do the math on the back of an envelope, that's billions of dollars. So while we're proud to make our commitment, we know that we need governmental partners, we need the private sector in this with us to make a difference for our children.
And is that the idea, that by getting Kresge and Kellogg to make this kind of commitment, it signals to everybody else that it's time to make a similar commitment or a bigger one than they're already making?
Well, you know, the two foundations have been a part of a larger collaborative, you know, for the past 6 or 7 years. And so there are about 9 to 10 other philanthropic organizations of various sizes who have been kind of committed to this process for as long, or if not longer, than we have. Really, Hope Starts Here was about creating a playbook, right? So that we all kind of understood kind of the playing field, we all had access to the same set of data, and we really knew kind of what our strategy was holistically. And of course, we know there are a lot of new philanthropic organizations that are selecting Detroit and coming into the city, and so it helps to already have a plan in place so that as they're thinking about their strategy and where they can plug in, it's really there for them already.
You see this from the sort of street level, the service level. Talk about Mothering Justice, and then talk about what the challenge looks like in terms of expanding early childhood programs and access to them.
Yeah, I mean, just like the Hope Starts Here initiative, Mothering Justice, when we started our process of figuring out what are the financial needs, what are the pocketbook issues of moms in Michigan, especially Detroit, we had conversations. We started just talking to moms about what's important to them, what do they need, and childcare, affordable quality childcare, was the #1 issue that they talked about. So we were so excited to see these two foundations say, yeah, that is exactly what we think is the problem too, and we need to fix it together.
Talk some about Mothering Justice and what you guys do.
Yeah, so we are a grassroots organization that works on leadership development and issue advocacy. So we have a mama's agenda. We talk about leave policies, wage issues, and affordable childcare, infant and maternal maternal mortality, and then we train our moms so that they can be the best advocates for their families, and we really center their experience and their voices in the conversations around changing policy.
Yeah, yeah. I keep talking about expanding the programs and access, and I'm sort of talking about them as if they're together, and they are linked. But I feel like they're different too, and they sort of present different kinds of challenges. Is that right?
Yeah, so, in Detroit, we have about 500 early childhood programs that are operating in the city. So we know that we need more, right? We need more teachers, we need more classrooms, we need more high quality facilities, but we also know that we need to improve the quality of what we already have. So it's really doing both simultaneously that'll really help us move the needle for children.
Yeah, and when you say improve the quality, it's that you want certified programs. You don't want to just send kids off to a preschool. You want to send them someplace that there are certified teachers to deal with these issues.
Definitely. Standards are important, but they're not the only thing, right? Cultural competency is so important to our moms, that their children are loved and that there is a flow between the house and the school, and that there's they're working together. So those things that are intangible and not so easily measured are so important, and we're glad that Hope Start here, when they had those conversations, we know that's what they heard because we see it in the framework. But yeah, standards are important. You want, at the end of the day, you want your 4-year-old to be ready to be in kindergarten.
Right, right. The access issues in Detroit, of course, have to do with not just the number of programs, but the ability to get there, right? And so we've always got this transit hurdle that I imagine plays a big role in this.
Yeah, it does. I think, though, what we've learned over the past year, that parents are very resourceful. And so the Head Start Innovation Fund actually commissioned a report over the last year, and it just talked about most families are getting to child care programs through either a loved one's car, they're kind of bartering back and forth, right? So if there's a quality program in close proximity, parents are saying we can get there. But what we've also heard from parents is that the hours currently don't suit their needs. So access is also about defining quality based on what parents and families need. In Detroit, we need more programs that have hours in the evening, that have hours on the weekend, and we also need more kind of multi-service facilities. So we heard loud and clear from parents that it's very difficult if I have an older child to really get them where they need to be, and then also get my infant or toddler where they need to be as well.
Yeah. So does that argue for more coordination between, for instance, maybe DPS or other schools and early ed programs? I know we've had a hard time in recent months and years with the nonprofits who are running like Head Start programs not being able to coordinate with others. Should we put all of this in the schools? Yeah.
So the superintendent, of Detroit Public Schools spoke on Friday about the partnership and how he was really confident that we could work together, and that it has to be. It has to be. Needs to be a seamless process from preschool to elementary school. And again, we don't live single issue lives. We don't have one age children. We have a family that has a variety of needs, especially when you're talking about people in Detroit.
Yeah. Would it make sense to centralize this more than it has been?
When you mean centralize it as far as location?
Not locations, but centralize the control of it so that maybe it's more aligned with school or other things. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, well, we've come from that previously in Detroit. So at one point, Head Start was centralized.
It was there, right?
At DPS. I think we have a number of community partners who are doing a wonderful job, but we also know that we need partnership with the district, and Dr. Vitti has communicated that he's ready and willing to partner. And we also have wonderful charter school providers who are actually, providing GSRP programs for 4-year-olds. So we actually need all hands on deck, and we've been really consistent in saying that probably for the past year. The need is so great. It's not either or. It's really all of us rolling up our sleeves.
Exactly.
Else, right? Yes.
Okay. Well, congratulations. $50 million is a very important start, and let's hope we get to where we want to go. Thanks.
Thanks.